Amen. All right. So we want to just run through quickly. This time I'm not doing lots of recap. I need enough time to work this. The first thing we are dealing with today, that will possibly be point number 11 if we had to pick from the last two. But for the sake of today, I'm working it as point number 1 for today. All right. He lived beyond his background. Now I wrote a couple of things here. He was not the firstborn, but he became the king. In fact, he was the last born. And most of the time, lots of us allow where we are coming from to rather determine the excuses that we create, stopping us from rising to get to where God has purpose and destined for our lives. But I came here to announce to somebody prepared himself to rise up and become a president whilst he was in jail. Your background must never determine where you are going. The young man was nothing but a shepherd boy. The best you could give him was to describe him as a shepherd, and yet that shepherd rose up, broke every odds. He was able to rise above all barriers, and he was able to become a king. I don't know where you are coming from. If you want to become the president of Ghana, you can. If you want to become that CEO, you can make it. If you want to become successful financially, you can still get there. Don't allow anything to stop you. Ladies and gentlemen, where you are is not who you are. Can I say it again? Where you are is not who you are. Wherever you started from has nothing to do with where you are going. Tell yourself, I will get there. If they rose up, if a shepherd boy can become a king, I can rise up. If a Form 5 leader can become the president of Ghana for 19 solid years, then I don't care where you are coming from. You can conceive. Lift up your hands and say, I will succeed. Forget about your age. Forget about your background. Forget about your educational level. Forget about your gender. If you can believe it, you can rise up and get there. He was an ordinary young man, but he rose up into greatness. Lift your hands and say, I will get there. Can you do it like me? Say, I will get there. By the grace of God, I will get there. Say it for the last time. Nothing will stop me. Am I in church with somebody today? So the young man lived above his background. I wrote something here that is also interesting. He was discouraged by his own brothers, but that did not stop him. He was discouraged by the king, but that did not stop him. He was discouraged by Goliath himself, but that did not stop him. I mean, there was everything around him that should, attest to the fact that he does not qualify to rise up to be a king, become a king. He was attacked by the king Saul, and yet that did not stop him. Ladies and gentlemen, don't allow your dream to die. Don't allow that dream to die. I know it is difficult, but ladies and gentlemen, the things that you go through, the challenges that you face, they are not meant to kill your dream. They are meant to strengthen you to fulfill your dream. The challenges you face in life must not discourage you, but use the challenges as fuel. Put them in your train and empower yourself to press on. Ladies and gentlemen, don't allow money to stop you from building that house. Don't allow money to stop you from building that business. Don't allow your current condition to stop you from rising up to the top. Can you lift up your hand for last time before I leave this topic and say with all boldness, say, I will make it. Somebody shout it again, say, I will make it. If shepherds can become kings, then I believe you are more than qualified to get there. And as I look at your faces, one thing that excites me is the fact that I see greatness. Those who shouted amen, let that be your portion. I said I see greatness everywhere. I said I see greatness everywhere. Let's deal with the next thing. The second thing, which is interesting, which will connect us to a couple of scriptures, is the fact that David was anointed at a very tender age. And I always say this thing anytime I get the opportunity. At the time David was anointed a king by the major prophet Samuel, there was another king that was in town. Anointed king, Saul was the accepted king. David had the oil, Saul had the throne. David had the approval of God, and yet Saul had the regalia and the comfort of the palace. Ladies and gentlemen, there is always a time in your life where all you have is oil on your head. You might not have the manifestations of the blessing, but you know within you. How many of you have had that feeling within you that I am a millionaire? Though there is no money in my pocket, there is a feeling within, there is a conviction within my spirit that there is greatness that is about to pass forth. Can you slap somebody at the side and say, watch me, watch me? Where I am is just part of the process, so I don't allow it to weigh me down. It must not kill me. When there is no money in my pocket, it's part of the process. All things work together for my good. It's working. It is working. He's putting all of them together in order to produce some outstanding result in my life. So I am not worried at all. There is no need to worry. Now, the second thing I'm dealing with is the fact that David was persistent. The path or the road to success is a difficult one, and it is only walked by those who are persistent and determined, who are telling themselves it is difficult, but I'll close my eyes to all the odds and I will press on until I arrive at the other side. Tell yourself, me, I will get there. Persistent. A story is told about the pebbles you see at the seashore. All of them used to be very rugged and rough. All the stones you see, those smooth pebbles when you go to the seashore you pick up, all of them were rugged some time back. But as the waves tosses them about and they hit one another, then some part will be smoothing, and then they keep hitting and hitting and hitting. When you see it rough, don't think it will remain the same forever. My life is rough today, but I'm getting smoothing every day. The tough times I'm going through, the challenges I'm going through, I won't allow it to weigh me down. Some of us, trouble don't kill us, trouble get us better. Are you in church? Hunger does not kill us. Hunger gets us better. It rather brings us greater ideas. So if the devil thinks he's killing us with trouble, we are clapping and telling them, bring the trouble, because the trouble will become something better. We will put the trouble on the ground and make it a stepping stone so we can rise to the next level. They attack us from every side, but it gets us better. For yet though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I am not giving up. The Lord is on my side. God is on my side. Holy Ghost is on my side. Jesus is on my side. I am persistent. I am standing strong. I am not giving up. Lift up your voice and say, I refuse to give up. I will get there. David persisted. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse number 3 is a good scripture to buttress what David did. I thought I was in church. The visions I speak, it shall not lie. Can I prophesy over somebody? I look at you and I get excited. Do you know why? There is a word spoken over your life. That word cannot lie. Your God cannot lie. Lift up your hands and say, my God. Tell your neighbor, your God, and say, our God, he cannot lie, for his words shall come to pass. Say, one day, say, hey, one day we shall get there. He says it shall not lie. And look at this person. He says, though it tarries, wait. Slap about 3 people and half and tell them, wait for that money, wait for that marriage, wait for that business, wait for that breakthrough, wait for that lifting. Ladies and gentlemen, it is difficult to wait, but they that wait upon the Lord, there is a renewal process that goes on. The Bible says they shall renew their strength. You are getting better every day. I know you are not there, but you are better than where you started from. I know you haven't gotten that house, but you are better than where you started from. Can you remember where he picked you from? He picked me up from the miry clay and he placed me on a solid rock to stay. Your life is getting better every day. You will get greater and better. One of these days it shall be done. One of these days you will finish what you have started. Do I have somebody I came name and call it. Lift up your hands and say, I am the one. I am the one. Someone say, hey, I am the one. It says, for though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. There is an interesting thing here. It says, though it tarries, it will not tarry. Did you get that one? It's not too long ago when you were carrying letters around, moving from place to place, looking for a job. It's not too long ago. It's not too long. It's not too long ago when you were struggling to get a dress to wear to church, and that was your problem. And today your wardrobe is full. Am I preaching? I'm prophesying to somebody. Today you don't even know which one to wear, and you are standing there. Some of us had no shoes to wear. It's not too long ago. Those days it was a shoe. One of these days it will be cars. You don't know which car to drive to. Those who are clapping, receive it. Receive it in the name of Jesus. Second Samuel, same place, 2:1. After David asked the Lord, after this, David asked the Lord, should I move back to one of the towns of Judah? You could ask, what is this guy? Always asking questions, dealing with God. And that is how our lives are supposed to be. Should I do that business? Should I? At times we get to a place where we feel we are experienced. Oh, send me immediately laptops. There are no laptops. So immediately the person, oh, bring it. But can you tell the person, give me a second? Just kneel and pray. God, should I go ahead? Give me. And every believer must get something within your spirit that communicates with God. I was telling my wife just 3 days ago, I have a way of feeling God. It's a feeling. If immediately I feel it, I know God is there. God is with me. And every believer must get that. If you must develop yourself to the extent that when you ask God and it is yes, you have a way of knowing that He's saying yes. If He's saying no, you know it. Some of us, it could be through dream. You must develop that thing if you really want to succeed in life. Else, people will just mess up with you, sir. They will just keep doing all kinds of things to you, always having some issue. But if you know how to talk to God and seek His approval, the path becomes straight. Let me give you some other ones. You can write them down if you don't mind, so we can move on quickly. Same 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse number 1. Let's leave it there. And then move to the next point, which is also very, very key. The next one, point number 4. Point number 4 for today. The next thing David did that brought him success was company. Company. The kind of people that he moved with. David was extremely choosy. And if you really want to succeed in life, you must learn to choose. Know exactly what you want. Choices are one of the key things that brings men to success. Somebody has a shattered life today, or because of the choices they made years ago. In my book, Know These Before 40, one of the things I dealt with is don't think for yourself. Some few years ago, 18 years ago, as a young man, I had to take a decision. 18 years younger than the Joshua Ofori today, had to take a decision that is meant to affect the present Joshua Ofori. I hope I'm making some sense. I was in university then. I had to take a decision that is meant to affect an elderly man with gray hair like me. So that decision I was taking as that small boy was not for me. It was for the me of today. So whatever you do, whatever choices you make, even the choices I'm making today, they will affect me tomorrow. If you see an elderly man holding his plate, crossing the street to go and buy kinky, and he has no family, he has nothing to show for life, it is the decisions he took not too long ago that is yielding result at that point. Am I helping somebody? Choices. And we are talking about company. Who do you move with? Who is your friend? Possibly one of these days, maybe in our friends and family service, I'll be spending time to deal with company. Let's talk about friendship. David dealt with proper people. Let me just deal with just one of them, Jonathan. First Samuel chapter 18. Let's do 1 to 5. Samuel chapter 18, 1 to 5. And I'm going to pray a prayer on this particular note, that may God plant the right people in our lives, correct people that have a good heart, a correct heart, and are ready to carry you to the next level of your life. It's interesting. And David, after finishing, after David had finished talking with Saul, he met Jonathan. That was the first time, the king's son. There was an immediate bond of love between them, and they became best of friends. They met for the first time, got connected, became best of friends. It was the choice of David to accept Jonathan or not. And I believe that David saw something in Jonathan that made him accept him. Who is your friend? Who is your friend? Some friends come into our lives and all they do is to help you to gossip. Immediately they learn. I used to have a friend like that. Immediately you get to his house. Hey, Charlie, he says, Sister, that's the first thing he will meet you with. So what is our suffering? Can't we discuss something that will help us and make our lives better? Always he's talking about one day, evil and bad friends. See, quality friend. See what happened. Verse number 2. Let's run through it quickly. Let's go up to 5. For that day, he says, from that day on, Saul kept David with him and wouldn't let him return home. And Jonathan made a solemn pact with David because he loved him as he loved himself. Friends that love you as they love themselves. Not friends that you introduce your boyfriend to them and they are watching. Hey, we then find some medium fine. Friends that cannot love you as themselves. Friends that cannot wish you well. Friends that don't desire good things. They don't want good things to come your way. They are not needed in your life. If you can't love me, if you can't bless God for what I have, if you can't thank God for my marriage, if you can't thank God that I have a good job, what are you doing in my life? What is your business in my life? If you are not excited about my blessing, what are you doing here? What is your business here? Ask the person. If you are not happy for me, what are you doing around me? Leave, find another friend. Am I helping somebody? Get quality friends. They help. Quality friends. Jonathan sealed the pact by taking part of his robe and giving it to David, together with his tunic, sword, bow, and belt. Friends that can the amount. They are ready to bless you. If you run through the life of Jonathan, David will go through trouble. Saul, his father, was seeking to kill him, and then Jonathan will pass and say, hide here, stand here, my father is coming. A friend protects, a friend secures, a friend stands by you, a friend doesn't want you to die, they don't want you to go down, a friend wishes you well. Check those who are around you. If they are not friends, fire them out of your life. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 23, 16 to 18. 23:16. Jonathan went to find David and encouraged him to stay strong in his faith in God. Wow, this is a friend. This is what we call friend. Jonathan went to David and he was encouraging him. Don't be afraid, Jonathan reassured him. My father would never find you. Oh God, give me such friends. Give me such church members. That's somebody who come and say something about him and come and defend you over there and say, me, my pastor would. Even when you saw it, you saw your pastor doing it. He said, my pastor would never do that. And then when they come to you, pastor, somebody said something about me. I want to, please, can you be careful in this area? The king's son, the heir to the throne by tradition, by the laws of the Jews, he was rather telling David, you will be king. Lift up your right hand and say, God, give me the right company. Number 5. If I stay too long, you people encourage me. When you get excited about the message, I also keep preaching. And then get out of your way. David was purposeful. Number 5, he was purposeful. Focused. I was doing Facebook Live with my phone. Very excited on that day. Had a lot of information to share. As I was sharing my deep thoughts, Then a call came through. I cut the call. It affected the Facebook Live. I got live again. Another call came. That day they kept lambasting me with calls. Then something dropped in my spirit. Purpose is calling. I can use it to take pictures, but that is not the purpose. I can use this phone for pictures. Take all the pictures. I mean, they are top class phones who can give you better pictures than even a camera. But that is not the purpose. I can use it to video. But whilst you are doing the video and there is a particular place to capture and a call comes through, it will cut whatever you are doing. Do you know why? The main reason for this is calling. David had a purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, find your purpose in life. What were you made for? Why did he make you? I love the portion. It said that verse number 29 or so. He says, what have I done now? David replied, I was only asking a question, and see his reaction. Look at the 30. And he walked over to some other person. He walked over to some other and asked them. People of purpose, it is their business. They don't have any business to do with you. If you are trying to sweat them off or discourage them, they are not moved. They just go ahead and do their own thing. He left the guy there. His elder brother said, I'm doing something that is more important to me than all this discouragement stuff. People of purpose are focused. I've met friends that will look at me and say, hey, so this pastor thing, you are still doing it. What else should I do? Am I not doing it well? If nobody comes to church, I'll still preach, because that is my job. I will preach. I've told you I've preached to one person before. Me born word, who said my born word. Nobody came to church. One. Where 2 or 3 are gathered. Is that not the criteria? We were 2 that day, and God was in our midst. I preached and collected offering. The devil is a liar. At times when you see God blessing some people, you don't understand. You just can't get it. Why is this lady getting married and me? I've been around for all this while and no one is looking at my direction. And I'm taller than her and she is nothing. Check your heart. How can you cut somebody's robe? I'm sure some of you here, you found your enemy, he's lying down. You are thinking rope. Come on, say, "Ham akblo." He caught just his rope and he was feeling guilty. Rope. See the result. The Lord knows I shouldn't have done this to my Lord the King. He said, the Lord forbid that I should do this to my Lord the King and attack the Lord's anointed one, for the Lord himself has chosen him. When the Lord has rejected the guy, he was still speaking positive about him. Some people will stop church and the way they will talk about you as if you have never prayed for them before. It's strange. And when they begin to get all kinds of attacks, there are times you don't need to pray. It's automatic. When you are on the keyboard and you type A, what will come? You think when you press A, B will come? No. Immediately you press A will show up. So there are times the one you press will generate result for you. So when you see something happen, it's not like somebody went somewhere and prayed against you, and then they will call an answer for bumper. It's a Debbie. Now press here, letter, now spell here, and no trauma. So David restrained his men and did not kill. He said did not let them kill Saul after Saul had left the cave and gone his way. Let's keep moving quickly. This time, no stop. David came out and shouted after him, "My Lord the King!" And Saul looked around. David bowed himself before him. The same guy that wanted to kill him. And he shouted to Saul, "Why do you listen to the people who say I'm trying to harm you?" 10. This very day you can see with your own eyes it isn't true, for the Lord placed you at my mercy back there in the cave. Some of my men told me to kill you, but I spared you. For I said I would never harm the king. He is the Lord's anointed one. The 11 is what thrills me. Look, see how he addressed Saul, the one that wanted to kill him. Look, my father. That's the portion that thrills me, and I just concluded that this guy has no bitterness in him. He said, look, my father, at what I have in my hand. It is a piece of the hem of your robe. I cut it off, but I did not kill you. This proves that I am not trying to harm you, and that I have not sinned against you, even though I have been hunting you, even though you have been hunting for me to kill me. Those who want to kill you, you have the opportunity to kill them, and you spare them. Eject every bitterness out of every heart in this house. Whosoever offended you, whosoever messed you up, may you forgive them right now. Lift up your hands and say, Lord, help me to forgive. Let me do the final thing and then I'm out of your way. The final point number 7. David was a sincere giver. He was a sincere giver. First Chronicles 29, 5, 6, and 9. First Chronicles 29, the verse number 5. And for the other gold and silver, work to be done by the craftsmen. Now then, who will follow my example and give offering to the Lord? Now David gave and was asking others to give. Then the family leaders and the leaders of the tribes of Israel and the generals and the captains of the army and the king's administrative officers all gave willingly. He was an example of a giver. For the construction of the temple of God, they gave about 188 tons of gold, 10,000 gold coins, 375 tons of silver, 675 tons of bronze, 3,750 tons of iron. They gave. Am I painting a picture? It's no big deal. At times, you look at yourself and all you are giving is, we are looking for 100,000 to build a temple for God, and you know with your ability you will be armed for some 200 Ghana. No problem. But remember, he says, if the thing does not cost me, I won't do it. He says, for I will not present burnt offerings to the Lord my God that have cost me nothing. So David paid 50 pieces of silver for the threshing floor and the oxen. He paid. The guy was a giver. No wonder God blessed him. Givers never lack. This morning I pray that what God did for David, may he do more than enough for you. Clap your hands, rise up to your feet if you don't mind.